What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? You already see it. Yes, indeed. This is AppHeads, a very highly anticipated jailbreak tweak that brings the Facebook style of icon, shortcut icon, to iOS. So basically, Facebook came up with this thing called AppHeads, ChatHeads a while ago, and that allowed you to basically access some of your favorite contacts and things like that using little icons like you see here. Well, this developer has taken that concept, the ChatHeads concept, and made it work with apps. So you can access shortcuts, quick multitasking shortcuts to all your favorite iOS apps, and he calls it AppHeads, and that's the name of this jailbreak tweak. AppHeads allows you to have a really handy and quick, that is really what I'm going to emphasize here, speed. You can quickly access multitasking. You can quickly access all of your apps that are basically going to be docked on either the left or right side of your phone. Any running apps that you have here, you see that you can dock them using these little app icons called AppHeads. So when you tap on one of these app icons, it brings up what is called a live view. And you can see right here, I have a live view of iDownload blog right here on top of my Cydia app. Now, I can't interact with the Cydia app at all, so that's one thing to consider. There isn't real true multitasking here, whereas you can interact with two apps at the same time. So don't get confused about that. But what this allows you to do is to have these live views that's still really handy, and the fact that you have apps docked on the left and right side of your phone, that way you can quickly access them and have really fast multitasking. So that's really the name of the game with this tweak, AppHeads. It's not about having true multitasking per se, but it brings some significantly faster multitasking to iOS, as you can see here. So I just launched Tweetbot. I just tapped on the Safari app head. I just tapped on the Tweetbot app head again. You can quickly switch between those two. That's much faster than invoking the app switcher, finding the app you want to switch to. You don't have to find, you don't have to search with app heads because they're just there. Now, here's something that I'm glad happened, and it's basically a little bug that happens. The screen turns black, and the wallpaper turns black. So this tweak, although it has been worked on a long time and it's been tested, beta tested, all that, it's still a 1.0 release, so you have to keep that in mind. It's not perfect out of the box right now, so you will from time to time run into that issue where you have the black screen, so just keep that in mind. But still very impressive for what this tweak does. All that it does, there are lots and lots of options that you'll see here. That header is horrible, though, I will say that. So I'm going to give the developer props for doing a really good job, but please get a different header for your preferences there. That just doesn't look good. It doesn't really portray how well designed this tweak is. So that's one little knock I'll say against this. But you see so many different options here. At the top, let's just start from the top. You have your kill switch. You can quickly enable or disable the tweak if you want to do that. I'm just going to move these app heads out of the way. You can quickly enable or disable. You have enable for all applications, so you can enable only certain apps to work with app heads if you want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep them all enabled. You also have a show hide action, so you can enable or add an activator gesture to show or hide all the app heads at once, just like that. I used a triple press of the home button, and you saw those app heads go away. Now, there's also a a design setting that you can set up. You can change the background to show the currently open app, or you can change the background view to only show the current wallpaper. So watch what happens. I switch to current wallpaper, and now it just shows the wallpaper. It doesn't show the app beneath it, which really doesn't matter because you couldn't interact with the app beneath the app anyway. You couldn't interact with anything below a live view anyway. So although I personally like to have the other app beneath the live view, it doesn't impact usage at all. That's what I'm trying to say here. So that's going to be a personal decision. You also have design settings, so you can set up the size of the live view. I turned it all the way down. You see that live view is really small. You can still interact with it and still play with it, but probably just not as practical to interact with some of the buttons and elements on that particular page. And beneath that, you have the corner radius for the design settings. So I'm going to change the corner radius. I'm going to turn it all the way up. Notice the rounded corners that you have there. Now I'm going to turn it all the way down, and notice you have 90-degree angles once I launch there. So again, I recommend keeping it in the middle somewhere just to have a nice balance. And then you have the width of the live view, the border width, that is. So you can change up the border. If you want no border, turn it all the way down. If you want a thick border, turn it all the way up. Again, same idea. Set it in the middle. And last but not least, you have the color of the border. So you can change up the border color if you want to do that. And there are tons of other options here. You have display mode, which will show where you want to dock these app heads. You can dock it at the top, the bottom, the left, the right, or you can make it free so you can move it anywhere you want. Then there is allow in lock screen. You can turn it on. App heads on the lock screen, you can turn that on. Exclude mail apps, since mail is always running, you want to make sure you exclude that. Hide during videos. Allow edges, so you can use the left edge or the right edge if you want to do that. Or you can use both edges. It's set to both edges by default. You have your single tap action, so a single tap by default will show the live view of an app head like that. But you can change it to open the application, and that will just open the full application and avoid that live view like that. Now, obviously, I prefer the live view. That's kind of the whole point. But if you want to just open the application, if you'd rather just use these app heads as more shortcuts than other enhanced multitasking, then you can do that. And again, a hold action allows you to open the application, show the live view, or you can close up applications, or you can close all applications. So you can close an individual or all applications at once using a hold gesture if you choose to configure it that way. And again, I have the black screen there, another bug, so just keep that in mind. And then last but not least, for Touch ID enabled users, you have the ability to enable Touch ID for the live view for specific apps. So you can turn that on, go into enabled applications, and then turn on specific apps that you want to enable for Touch ID. So I'm going to turn it on for Safari, and I'm going to launch Safari, and it's going to ask me to authenticate with Touch ID. I just did, and there we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a presentation of AppHeads. This is my full review of AppHeads. I think at the end of the day, this is a great jailbreak tweak. It does bring fast multitasking, faster than you would normally get with just the normal app switcher by far. There's no question of that, but it doesn't bring true multitasking or any kind of new multitasking, meaning you can't actually interact with multiple apps at the same time, even though it looks like it because you have that live view on top of another app. But that's really not there for multitasking as much as it is just for looks. But that being said, AppHeads is a great tweak. It does have some bugs right now, but I do think it's worth $4.99 just for the fast multitasking. If you're looking for a fast multitasking tweak, if you're looking for something to show off to your friends, if you're looking for something quite frankly amazing that was able to be pulled off in the first place, then check out AppHeads. It's available right now on Cydia's Big Boss repo. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. This is Jeff with iDownload Blog.